Gentlemen, start your engine.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back again here on a Sunday night for the Blazing Pedals Xfinity Series, brought to us by Savage Edge Graphics. We're coming at you live from the Milwaukee Mile, where we're going to be doing 190 laps here this evening, straight up as always. 190 laps. Sorry, got a little timing and scoring error there. 190 laps going on here tonight at the Milwaukee Mile. Currently at the top of the charts is Mark Arthur with a 30.44. Right behind him is Dustin Ping in the number 81 with a 30.5. 30.5. Then in third, the driver we're watching currently out on track right now, Aaron Bockover in the number 44 with a 30.58. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do this real quick before we head down trackside, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go ahead and bring up your points. That is up to date. Current point standings as of right now after Bristol. Bristol being the long 300-lap race that it was. Go ahead and bring them up on my end just so I'm able to read them. So Cody Gibson took over the points lead. Dalton Kiro second, Chris Carroll third, Taylor Butcher-Benjamin fourth. How about Steven Johnson up there in fifth in points? Good run out of Steven so far this season. Even Paul Ellison there in sixth, having a good run as well. Doing a good job in that number 55 CRJ Graphics, or CJR Graphics. Wow. Messing up all big kinds tonight. I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, it's all good. Moving on. We got points. Also tonight, the bracket that everybody's been wondering about. Final four. We're going to have Dalton Kiro going up against Chris Carroll, and Cody Gibson going up against Taylor Butcher-Benjamin. So in the chat, let me know who you're going for in the bracket. But not only that, let me know who you're going for the win here tonight at the Milwaukee Mile. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to head down trackside for pre-race ceremonies. So if you could please rise and remove your hats for tonight's national anthem. And thank you very much, Joshua Rutherford, for a great rendition of our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please go check out Mullet Music Productions over on YouTube. We are into qualifying right now, almost a minute and a half into qualifying now. 8.5 minutes left to go. Cody Gibson out on track, just got the green flag in the number 7. Let's see what Cody can do here. A lot of drivers are also out on track, coming to get the green flag and starting their qualifying run. One of them being Corey Rutherford, as Amanda Sherman puts up a time, first time on the board, 31.21 for the number 8 of Amanda Sherman. Corey Sherman goes fastest right now with a 30.81, and now Cody Gibson takes it over. So let's go back to Cody Gibson. Chris Carroll, top of the board, 30.67 for the number 99. Cody Gibson gets bumped down into second. Corey Sherman now in third. John Perkins snags over that third spot, 30.78. Out of turn number 4, a little sideways there for the number 99, and across the line for Chris Carroll. Bump the car audio up just a little bit. If it's too loud, ladies and gentlemen, please let me know. Brian Zimmerman, quick time, 30.66 for the number 21 of Brian Zimmerman on pole right now, coming out of turn number 4 to complete his qualifying run. Got about 7 minutes left to go here in qualifying. Still quite a few drivers left to go. Second lap for Zibby. A little bit slower, but hanging on to the pole right now. Dustin Payton was second fast in practice, finishing up his run. Goes third up on the board with a 30.70 for the number 81 of Dustin Payton. Taylor Butcher Benjamin going up against Cody Gibson in the final portion of the bracket. Just finished up his run, 7th on the board, 30.88 for the number 10 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Aaron Bockover goes 6th quickest on his first lap with a 30.80 in the number 44. Out of turn number 4 and across the line to finish up his qualifying run. Does he improve? He does, just a little bit. Goes 5th fastest for the number 44 at 30.76. All right. He was quickest overall in practice. The number 12 of Mark Arthur heading out on track. Let's see what the number 12 can do. Still a couple more drivers out there. You got Brian Dees, Ty Morosco. Brad Collins just finished up his run. Goes 22nd quickest on the board. Dalton Kilrose on his second lap. First lap was a 30.99. Second lap for Dalton. He's going to go 8th fastest on the board, a 30.87 for the number 41 of Dalton Kilroe. Mark Arthur on his first green flag lap. Going to bail out of it. Not liking it. Going to have to reset and try again. He can do that. Mike Hamlin's out on track, coming to take the green flag here in the number 28. see on the left-hand portion of your screen, Ty Morosco going 8th fastest. Going to bump his teammate down to 9th on his first lap at 30.86. Currently right now, Brian Zimmerman hanging on to that pole. Nobody has seemed to bounce him off that pole just yet. Chris Carroll 2nd, Dustin Ping 3rd. Ryan Dees goes 14th quickest on his second lap, 30.93 for the number 17. Out of turn number 4 and across the line for Mike Hamlin's first lap. He goes 9th quickest with a 30.83. Ty Morosco bounces back on his second lap there, a 30.74. Going to be in 4th position for the number 1. About 2.5 minutes left to go here in qualifying tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So far, Brian Zimmerman on the pole. However, we got some news here tonight. Joining me in the booth, our very own Chris Legou. Chris, how we doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing great, getting ready to watch this race. A mile-long track, and it should be a really good one here. Milwaukee Mile bringing all the action here tonight, and so is Zimmy. Zimmy on top, getting ready to start this one on the pole if nobody can knock him off.
It looks like I don't think anybody is, Chris, because we only have 2 drivers who haven't qualified. Everybody else has, and the one I thought was going to be able to do it was Mark Arthur. He was looking fast there in practice, however, only managed to put a time down quick enough for 8th position.
Yeah, Mark had a really good qualifying run. I was watching his run. Using all of the track was Mark as he was rumble stripping off from turn 4 coming down the front stretch. So a good run out of him, just not quite good enough to make it to the top.
So that being said, we do only have 2 drivers elected not to take a time. Now, Ty Morosco did qualify. He's 4th on the grid. However, ladies and gentlemen, the number 1 receiving a after-race penalty from Bristol does have to start from pit road at his next started race. So he's here tonight at Milwaukee. Number 1's going to be starting from pit road here tonight.
Yeah, I happen to remember that, and well, it is what it is. But I think Ty is one of those guys you're going to have to kind of watch for the entire race here tonight.
Well, if anybody watched the Track Talk episode earlier today, looks like Mark Arthur, his pick was Ty Morosco tonight. And I tell you what, he looks fast out there. 4th on the board. Now has to start from the pits, but 190 laps, that's a long way. So a lot of time to make up for it. Gonna have a few pit stops. Fuel's looking like it's gonna be about 40 to 45 laps here tonight at the Milwaukee Mile.
Yeah, I'm listening in on race control as you were talking, Sam. And well, I gotta admit, I there's a setting there that I need to do, and then I'll be able to hear you better. But yeah, this is going to be a good one. I can't wait to watch it.
So we got the usuals out in chat. See Tanner Marr commenting out there. See Connie out there. Lori's out there. Old Joshua Rutherford says, it's awesome to hear Chris in the booth again. Have a good broadcast, guys. Thank you, Josh.
In the booth, where I'm happiest, honestly. And getting ready to go here tonight. This is going to be a great run.
Well, with that being said, it's time to get through this grid. Starting on the pole tonight is going to be Brian Zimmerman in the number 21 with Chris Carroll in the 99 to his outside in second. Starting in third is going to be Dustin Ping in the 81 with Ty Morosco in the number 1. Starting in fourth, however, actually has to start from the pit road, but we're just going to read through it as if he's not. Cody Gibson's going to be starting there in 5th position with Aaron Bockover starting in 6th. Starting in 7th is going to be John Perkins in the number 33 with Mark Arthur to his outside in 8th. Corey Sherman rolling off in 9th with Mike Camlin to his outside in 10th. Dalton Kilbrough starting in the 11th position with Taylor Butcher Benjamin starting in 12th. Moving on down through the grid. You want to take it, Chris?
I thought it was going to be my turn.
You want to take it? Go ahead.
Yeah, starting in 13th spot, it's going to be Derek Paulson in 14th, and to his outside, Tanner Marr. It's going to be Sam Wasson starting next on the grid, and in 16th, it's Corey Rutherford. Starting 17th tonight, it's going to be the Soul Stealer, Brian Dees, with Phil Van Vliet starting to his outside in 18th. Then we've got Paul Ellison starting 19th and Andy Poliski starting in 20th here tonight.
Teammates
21st. Yeah, exactly. 21st is going to belong to Chris Berg. Larry Bell's got his outside on the 22 starting position. Rick Thompson starting 23rd. Joshua Rutherford starting 24th. 25th tonight is going to be Casey Campbell. Amanda Sherman picks up the 26th starting spot with Brad Collins to the next row on the inside. Outside is going to be Joe Alberico, Fred Thompson, Donald Bennett, and Mike Massengill round out the field. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats. We've got short track action here tonight, live on True Sim Productions.
They got 1 lap or 2 laps to go here? That's the question. I always forget with Milwaukee.
Short track, I think it's 2.
I would assume it's 2 as well. "31 drivers. 1 has to start from pit road, Ty Morosco, so that moves everybody on the outside lane up 1 position from our grid. Front row stays the same, though. Brian Zimmerman and Chris Carroll. Now, those are teammates, Chris.
Yeah, it's something to watch out for. Teammates working together. And let's not forget, we've got the bracket coming to a close here tonight. The final 4 getting after it.
I don't know, Chris. It looks like they might actually be starting right here the way they're lining up. We're going to find out.
Yeah, they are.
Pulling on pit road, so here we go. Coming to the restart zone. First start zone. Oh, little contact there between Bockover and Chris Carroll. Before the green flag even came out, I think Bockover might have tried to anticipate that green flag. Got into the back of the 99. That allows Ping to take over second spot here through turns 1 and 2. And Cody Gibson looking to the inside of Chris Carroll, and they're fighting for the spot in the or no, they're not. Him and Taylor Butch Benjamin are. Dalton Kilbrough and Chris Carroll are fighting in the bracket. Just want to make that clear.
Yeah, some way, somehow, we're going to figure this one out here tonight. And yeah, you're right. A little contact to start this one off. Look out for Aaron Bockover. He has had a bit of a tough week here with his computer. I know multiple people have tried to help him. I think he might be okay for tonight, but again, just keep out for the 44. Again, having a bit of a tough night. As you see, the 12 already working the inside, trying to put Aaron Bockover down another position.
So Brian Zimmerman holds on to the race lead right now as we're 3 laps in. Dustin Ping pulls out in front of Cody Gibson, now sits in second. Cody Gibson third. Chris Carroll falls back to 4th. How about John Perkins up there in the top 5? So it's a name we really don't mention a whole lot. John seems to really stay quiet through most of the race. However, tonight in Milwaukee, feeling confident up there in the top 5, looking good.
Yeah, doing a good job so far, as is all drivers. Green flag conditions prevailing so far in this race. I know they did an over-under on the talk show prior to the race, and I think everybody kind of went for the over. We're going to find out.
What, on the all C word?
Yeah.
I said flag to flag, so I think we're going to be okay tonight.
Flag to flag. That's okay.
I'm calling it. I know it's the Milwaukee Mile. I know everybody was worried about it, but these drivers know 190 laps. There's a long way to go, and we're seeing it kind of play out right here as the race leader goes back down in turns 1 and 2. They have all single filed out right now. They know it's basically just kind of single file out, and start working, picking off people as you go. Take your time. Be patient. Plenty of time to go in this race. Anything can happen.
Yeah, that's exactly right. As I'm still over here adjusting. See, the problem, Sam, is I have all of my sounds set up as if I were driving today, and that's not the case. Now I can hear you just fine.
Oh, there we go. Are you good?
I think so, buddy. I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. I'm starting to feel a little like your normal co-host here.
Hey, he's not feeling well tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I do want to say, Terry, we do hope you feel better. He messaged me before the race, said he had something going on. I won't get into it. If he's in chat and wants to let people know, he can. But I hope you feel better, Terry. We got it handled. I want to thank Chris. He kind of messaged me before the race, said, "You want help?" And I said, "No, I'll be all right." And here he is. So thanks for Chris for coming out and helping me here tonight.
Well, you know, I got to make sure that I remember how to do it, Sam, every once in a while.
That is true. That is true. You can get rusty. I will admit that.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody can. Anyway, back to the race. I'm back here looking at the 17th position right now. That's Corey Rutherford to the top side of the racetrack. He's got Rick Thompson to his inside. Rick Thompson had a really good race going last week until he got some front end damage and then had to kind of manage those engine temps for the rest of the race. So that's somebody I think we got to keep an eye on tonight as well. Already up 6 spots from the start of the race, sitting back there in the 17th position. Number 76, Rick Thompson.
Yeah, and that's something to keep an eye out too for tonight, Sam, is damage. You know, it does not take a lot of front end damage to get these cars so that they're ready to blow up at any point. And I think we actually saw that 2 weeks ago at Bristol too. Had a couple of blown engines, if I recall.
Definitely had a couple, but I mean, with Bristol, we all know that there's going to be some bumping and banging. This is a short track too, so we might see a little less than we did at Bristol. It's Mark Arthur looks to the inside of Corey Sherman here, going down the back straightaway. It's a battle for your 6th position. Yeah, I think that's why we're seeing everybody kind of be cool, calm, and collected right now, Chris, is that they know any bit of front end damage to these race cars, you're not going to have a good rest of your night.
Yeah, Brian Zimmerman right now, totally impressive. Zimmerman has led all 10 laps here so far of this very early race. He's looking good out there, Sam. He's not really over driving the car. I think he's got a good chance here tonight. I don't know if anybody called on Zimmy to win, but out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't think anybody. Oh, well. Caution flag out on the speedway, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like my flag to flag prediction just got ended.
Lap 10.
Not bad, not bad. First caution of the evening. Let's go back and take a look at what happened here. Looks like Corey Rutherford gets into the outside wall. Oh, man. Let's go back, take another look at it. Rutherford comes off the corner. Right there, gets into the outside wall. Unfortunately, bounces off, comes down into the 55 of Ellison, right in front of the lone Dutchman of Philip Van Vliet. So Van Vliet with some heavy front-end damage to start this race. Same with the number 55. Larry Bell squeaking through there. You got Amanda Sherman right behind that as well. But I think the worst to come out of that was the number 55 of Paul Ellison.
Yeah, a couple of very damaged race cars there. And exactly what I was just talking about, that front end damage. Philip Van Vliet going to have to deal with that for the rest of the night. There's just no fixing that.
I don't know how his car looks like on your screen, Chris, but on my end, he's missing that whole front clip.
Yeah, it's seen better days.
So bad luck tonight here at the Milwaukee Mile. However, there's one person this caution did help, Chris, and that's the number 1 of Ty Morosco. Had to start from the pits, able to catch back up to the field.
Yeah, I mean, if you have to do it, doing it early like that is certainly going to help Ty Morosco. Morosco now going to be able to rejoin the tail end of the field. No more concerns about potentially going a lap down early on in this one and ruining a night. Ty Morosco, I believe, was picked by, was it
Mark
TBB?
Arthur? No,
Mark Arthur.
Yeah,
Mark Arthur picked him. Yeah.
Speaking of Mark Arthur, he's sitting back there in 10th position right now, and every driver behind him all came down pit road for a fuel-only stop here. A little bit of strategy.
Well, you figure they've gone 10 laps, 10 miles. It doesn't sound like a lot, but in these cars, it is certainly a ton, and that would only serve to help them later on in the race.
This just in from race control. Number 5 of Corey Rutherford will be given the EOL penalty, end of the longest line, or end of the line, for causing that caution. Double file again. Going to be re-racking them, restacking them, firing them off one more time here coming out of turn number 4. Brian Zimmerman, Dustin Ping on row 1. I'm actually surprised because we've had a couple of tracks recently, Chris, that the cautions tend to last a little too long, in my opinion. And this one actually went pretty quick. The green flag back out in the air. We're going to go barreling down into turns 1 and 2. How about Chris Carroll making a move to the inside of Dustin Ping? Remember, 21 and the 99, they're teammates, so working together there on that restart to give the number 99 that track position.
Yeah, remember Chris Carroll, one of the drivers in that final 4 in the bracket. Carroll looking to try and solidify his completion of that bracket by going into next week, one of the 2 contenders. If he can win tonight, it makes it all that much more easy.
Whoa, I think he's sending in a little too hard going into 1 right there. He left tire marks on entry. That is not good for the tires of the number 99. I don't know if he just missed his braking point or was worried about the guy behind him or what, but good save, if anything. So everybody starts a single file out once again. We got some side-by-side racing going on near middle of the pack here. We're taking a look at the number 10 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Just went to the inside of Corey Sherman, but Corey Sherman trying to fight hard on the outside lane.
Yeah, and you're not going to do that, Sam. This is a very single lane track. That outside lane, the only thing it's good for is to go backwards.
And you see it happening right here. Corey Sherman up on the top side of the racetrack. Now under pressure from the 66 of Chris Berg. Now under pressure from Ty Morosco. So yeah, single groove track here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. On the bottom side, Corey Sherman showing us that here, being stuck up on the top lane. He's got a little bit of a gap to fall back in line, but it looks like Rick Thompson's going to try and stick his nose in there. I think Thompson gave him a break right there.
Yeah, a little bit of a break happening there, perhaps. Meanwhile, TBB sitting in the 14th spot, being very patient here so far. I know it's very early on in the race, but it's so easy to outdrive your car and drive the tires right off. Sam, that's not something TBB is looking to do tonight, as he is also looking to kind of advance himself in the bracket.
Well, you mentioned it, tires. You don't want to burn them tires off. To reiterate for the fans at home, they only have 4 sets of tires down on the walls, so you do have to manage your tires here tonight. We got Brian Dees loose in 3 and 4. He caught that.
Great job further back in the field, avoiding going 4 wide at one moment, Sam, to not be a part of that. Great heads up driving by a lot of drivers back there.
I think I got a replay for us, Chris. Let's take a look at it. Oh, Mark got into the back of the 28, which sent him up into the 17. Mark had to back out of it, and everybody trying to get around it. So let's take a look at it one more time, focusing on the number 12 of Mark Arthur right there. Tap to the 28, 17 gets tapped. Mark checks up to not hit the 28 again. There's the 4 wide Chris mentioned, and yeah, everybody doing a good job. Ty Morosco trying to shoot the gap, comes down, makes contact with Corey Sherman. That gives both of them a 4X. They ain't getting the 0X bonus points tonight.
Wow.
A lot going on right there.
You know, that could have just as easily been a caution. So whatever they had to do, they had to do. And I don't fault Ty Morosco for that one bit. Everybody was slowing down. Everybody was stacking up. Everybody got out of it. That's all you can ask for.
Well, now Ty Morosco's back to the inside of Corey Sherman. Sherman has some right side damage. It is a little crinkled there. Ty Morosco obviously with the left hand damage. Mark Arthur is kind of what I'm worrying about right now with that front end damage that he just got from hitting the 28. I don't know if it doesn't look like the car's all that bad, but like you said, Chris, the slightest tap will really set these cars off, and you got to start paying attention to your temperatures. Dalton.
Yeah, this has been fun, Sam. I miss it up here.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. The only thing we need is a better AC.
Oh, I'll take one of those.
Well, we put an order in for one, but they said it probably won't be here till next season.
Darn it.
Well, you know, at least whoever takes over the booth next season will get it.
Brian Zimmerman still up front with the 99. Chris Carroll right behind him. They're starting to put a little gap on Sam on the third place runner. And, wow, man, I'm just watching out back still, and I don't know if these guys have sorted it out.
That's the thing. I mean, they really haven't, right? I mean, Chris Berg in the midst of all this. Tanner Marr up on the outside. You got Derek Paulson in this mix. Taylor Butcher Benjamin is trying to get out front of it all. He's trying to work his way around Aaron Bockover. Remember, Bockover has a little bit of front end damage from earlier in the race, at the very start of it, actually. So 44 probably just trying to maintain temperatures right now. Trying to look to the inside of Derek Paulson. Just lost that position. That puts Aaron Bockover back there in 10th position. But we also got to keep in mind that the top 7 did not come down pit road under that last caution. We can do about 40 to 45 laps on fuel. I think the max that I was told was about 42 laps, 45 if you're Dalton, is the exact words I got. But how is this going to play out for the rest of the race if this thing goes green?
Well, that's the thing, is you don't really know until way deeper into the race. But I will say this, Dalton Kilroe started saving fuel at Daytona, which is how we started the season off. And I think he's still doing it, and currently being scored in the 15th spot. Dalton Kilroe really does know how to save fuel. It's not just something we say. I've witnessed it out on track.
Sadly, I have too. As we're talking about him, Chris, he locks the left front tire up going into the corner. I don't know if he was trying to avoid somebody or just missed his entry, but now under pressure from the 4 of Tanner Marr. Tanner Marr trying to take over that 15th spot. A lot going on mid-pack here. And how about Taylor Butcher Benjamin, man? He just got around Aaron Bockover, and he brought his teammate Derek Paulson with him. Now running down the number 24 is Samuel Lawson, the governor out here, is running in 7th.
I'm watching Ty Morosco right now, and he is driving the wheels off from this thing, trying to keep up with Mark. He is driving in deeper. Well, not this time, of course, but he had been driving in deeper than Mark.
Of course.
And
he's making you look like a liar up here.
Yeah. So I guess the point is that is a good way to kill the front tires. Same with when you were talking about Dalton Kilroe in the 41 when you locked up the tire. Again, not great for the tires. You have to be careful with that. You have to be smooth.
So we know that a bunch of these guys can go about 10 laps longer. We've had one caution so far. Chris, I do want to point out something. I was talking to a couple of drivers earlier before the race here in practice, and they were telling me that a 2-tire stop could be viable this evening. And to be honest, I kind of believe them. With it being a short track and the car's going to get tight on you here late in the run, once you wear the tires out, take 2 right side tires, get out there, loosen that thing up. I could see it working. I really could.
Yeah, I think this would be one of the tracks you could do that with and get away with it, as we do have a lead change. Chris Carroll now the race leader, but 2-tire stop, If it's under green, absolutely.
So Chris Carroll's now out to the race lead. Brian Zimmerman still runs second. Carroll's a 1.3 second gap over his teammate Brian Zimmerman. They are starting to catch some lap traffic here. You got Fred Thompson back here, Paul Ellison right in front of him. And then Casey Campbell back up there in 29th trying to run down Corey Rutherford, who Rutherford's just trying to bounce back from that earlier incident between him and his teammate Paul Ellison. He's sitting back here in the 28th position. Lap 31 of 190. Still a long way to go in this one. Chris Carroll's your race leader. We're going to take a commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Put the power of Southern Shores Realty to work for you. With over 30 professionals in sales and rental management, Southern Shores Realty and I will get the job done right. I'm Rick Thompson, your Outer Banks real estate expert.
Call 261-2000.
What's up, everybody? We're taking a break in this exciting race to tell you a little bit about Savage Edge. You can go to our link here, www.savageedge.com, or our Facebook here. So we're about to tell you a little bit what Savage Edge does. Have you ever wanted to put your face on a t-shirt or maybe your iRacing car? Well, we can do that for you at Savage Edge. Take a look at our direct-to-garment printer. Did you just get excited about what you can see on a t-shirt? Well, we got more for you. What about embroidered hats? Everybody loves a good hat. Look at this. We also do beanies that double as kitten holders. There's also so much more we can do here at Savage Edge. Vinyl graphics, coffee mugs, koozies. We basically can put your name on anything. So go to savageedge.com and check out our Facebook. Now back to the race.
And we're back live here, ladies and gentlemen, on True Sim Productions. As always, the Milwaukee Mile Blazing Pedals Xfinity Series, brought to us by Savage Edge Graphics. Hope you all enjoyed that commercial. That's the new one Corey made us a couple of weeks ago, and we absolutely love it. Make sure you go over to savageedge.com, get yourself a t-shirt, hat, koozie, whatever, except shot glass apparently. But we're working on that. SavageEdge.com. Go check them out. Chris Carroll, still your race leader. Brian Zimmerman in second. And these guys are going to be coming down pit road here very shortly. you make a good point, because if I remember correctly, you're right. It's not terrible, but it is a very awkward pit road to get onto. It's manageable, but it's almost like it's really a really thin entry, it feels like. Question is, when does the race leader Chris Carroll come down pit road? Now remember, I said about 42 laps. However, we did have that caution, so they could have saved at least 1 or 2 laps under caution. So we're probably looking at around about 45 to 47. I'd say we'd see the leaders come down pit road.
Cody Gibson right now being shown in the 4th spot.
He's working his way around some lap traffic right now. He still has John Perkins right behind him. How about this run out of this number 33? Again, haven't really seen him up here too much, but in the top 5 here tonight, you can tell that 33 has put some practice time in this week.
Yeah, John has had an up and down kind of season, but right now, my Lord, he is just driving. 5th spot for the 33. That's great. Good job tonight here, John.
Andy Poliski, who's had some rough luck past couple of races. He's another driver up inside the top 10 right now, doing a good job. However, has Taylor Butcher Benjamin right behind him. And here they come, Chris. Chris Carroll's on pit road.
The 99 takes a hard left on to pit road. We're going to see what he does.
Curious if he's going to take tires here. I imagine it's going to be a fuel-only stop for the number 99. All right, I'm called a liar. Right sides go up on the 99 and the 21. As they are on pit road. Looks like Andy Poliski followed him as well. Dustin Ping stays out on track. Let's see if he brings it in this time. He does. He's going to bring Cody Gibson and John Perkins. So those were all the drivers who had not pit yet, except for a few who fell back to about 13th and 16th. Be Sam Lawson and Tanner Marr. And they're coming down pit road right now. So,
yeah, I was going to say Lawson bringing it down pit road.
Well, I tell you what, guess who that hands lead over to? That number 10 car, Taylor Butcher Benjamin.
Yeah, Butcher is having a great night. A pick from Mark Arthur, which is incredible. The 10 car. I would love to see. I would love to see TB win. Did you hear how quickly he was answering questions tonight?
I did, but he still doesn't know nothing about dirt, so I'm a little disappointed about that.
Doesn't know it. Yeah, he could not answer your question.
I'm a little disappointed, Taylor. You're from Pennsylvania, even. You should know that. He actually just lost the lead there to his teammate Ty Morosco, now out to the race lead. And Derek Paulson there in second. I'm wondering if Taylor might have let them by, saying, I know you guys are a little bit quicker. Just go ahead right now. I'm just kind of riding. Taylor just wanted them couple extra bonus points for leading the lap.
Yeah, I got the points for leading a lap, maybe. Just still saving fuel. And that's the thing. Is, the Butcher, he's got it in his head what his strategy is going to be. And it's just a matter of executing it. So many drivers in this league, you could say they can win any given week, and then they get caught up into something. TBB, without winning so far, is top 5 in points, having a fantastic season. I personally, I would like to see him win tonight. And that's somebody who has a team. Yeah, well, I've got teammates out there. I don't know yet, Sam. Get back to me on that. Around the last lap, that would be fine, and then I'll make my decision.
That's pretty much where I'm at. I don't pick nobody no more. I was even sitting in with the guys I was asking their strategies with, and I asked them, hey, who wants to wreck tonight? Because you'll be my pick. How about that with the old broadcaster curse? But Mark Arthur Just slammed it down to the inside right there, trying to get around Taylor Butcher Benjamin. He's going to bring Rick Thompson with him. How about it? We talked about him earlier. Now up 18 spots from the start of the race. Rick Thompson up inside the top 5.
Yeah, something is going on with Rick Thompson over the last few races. All of a sudden, he's become the Rick Thompson of old. He's showing his speed, you know, kind of towards the beginning of the season. It just seems like this car threw him for a little bit of a loop in the off season and at the beginning of this season. But Rick Thompson certainly has been coming on strong here as of late.
Now up 19 spots. We actually got him on in-car camera, Chris. So we got him up on the screen right now. Rick Thompson, his best lap tonight's been a 31.524. Last time by a 32.874. That gives you kind of a reasonable idea of tire fall off here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Almost a full or over a full second of tire fall off here this evening at Milwaukee Mile. But you can see Rick real concentrated, has that natural look and lean into the corner, wearing that VR headset. Doing a good job here, running in 4th spot.
Yeah, running in 4th. We're 50 laps in. You know, no reason to really push the envelope right now, but he is getting real close to the back bumper of the 12. Mark Arthur under attack right now, I would dare say, by Rick Thompson.
The thing is he going to try and get around Mark here? Is he going to wait until after pit stops? We probably got about 5 laps, I'd say, before we see the majority of these guys start coming down pit road.
Yeah, that's true. There are a lot of drivers that came down during that first caution, and these are 2 of them. Actually, Mark did not stop. Is that correct?
Mark did stop. Mark came down and took
he
fuel.
did.
Yeah.
Okay, he did. Yeah. So, yeah, these guys can go for a little bit longer. It'll be, and again, you don't need to push the envelope right now. It's something where if you have a pace and you're comfortable with that pace, I would run that pace. There's no reason to push it here on this track. Not yet.
No, not yet. So I went back and I'm looking at Chris Carroll here, the number 99, first driver to come down pit road on lap 42. 4 tires stop for the number 99. Now back up to 11. So when it cycles through and all these other guys pit, Carroll's going to take over. The thing is, when these guys come down pit road, they're going to have 10 or more lap fresher tires than Chris Carroll. So if a caution doesn't come out to get these guys back on the same strategy, I think that the 99, the 21, all those guys that didn't pit under that first caution, they're the ones that are going to suffer from it.
Yeah, already we're starting to see different strategies form up, and we don't know. I am certain that there are drivers out there that didn't take tires already, so save one for later, see what happens. I'm sure it's going to happen. Every week it seems to.
Carroll trying to work his way around Brad Collins right there, right on the back bumper of Mike Hamlin, now looking to the inside here, going down the front stretch. And now we see it starting. Mark Arthur, Taylor Butcher Benjamin on pit road.
TBB on pit road along with Mark Arthur. TBB.
They're taking 4 tires. Both of them.
Yeah. A little bit of a surprise there.
I think they kind of have to right now, right? I mean, they went 10 so laps longer than Chris Carroll and them. Those guys took tires. You kind of have to right now. I think if we're going to see a double stint, it's going to be this go around because we're in a green flag run. As you see, Rick Thompson in his pit box right now, he brought Aaron Bach over, Mike Hamlin, Joshua Rutherford, all these guys coming down pit road. Ty Morosco keeps it out on the racetrack. Sam Lawson trying to work his way around him. Lawson came down and pit on lap 43.
Yeah. The strategy, I mean, just figuring out the different strategies, and it's a lot of fun, both from up here and honestly in the car. Of course, the advantage up here is you can see what's going on down there. You have no idea who did what. I think you're right, though, Sam. And in retrospect, I think if you're taking tires now, you're kind of maybe hoping for a caution flag. Oh, trouble getting on to pit road. Dalton Kilroy with a heck of a move.
Oh, that was actually Ty Morosco.
Oh, Ty Morosco. It was one of them.
I tell
hey,
you
I don't
what,
have my
though,
glasses on.
I know, and they're fighting over which color blue they want to be, but that's more damage to the front end of Ty Morosco. He came in right behind Joe Alberico, and oh man, I'm gonna see if I can't get a replay of that. I don't know if I can. I'm gonna go back and take a look here.
Oh, I will tell you right now, the left side of that car is hurting.
I don't think it registered any contact, believe it or not, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get a replay of that. But we did catch it live, so it's there. Ty Morosco, and he's still on pit road, Chris.
Oh, actually, as much as I thought that damage was from him coming on, I backed it up myself, Sam. That was not from coming on pit road. That was previous damage.
Really? Well, I know he had a little bit of damage, but it definitely looked like he made contact with the number 83 coming on the pit road right there. And if he didn't, great job, because he almost lost it coming on the pit road, but saved it. So good job by the number 1 at Ty Morosco. However, still on pit road. I think he's finally coming back out onto the racetrack now. He is. Yeah, I think he was just trying to get some of that damage fixed, but that's going to hurt him.
Yeah, that's going to hurt bad, and I believe that will cost him any chance at trying to win tonight, which is really too bad. He is one of those drivers that's right on the cusp of taking a win home this year, and I think that may stop it.
Well, he was fast in practice, came out, set a good qualifying time, and then has to start from the pits. Unfortunately, drives his way up to the lead, so he at least gets a few bonus points there for leading a couple laps. Works his way around Chris Carroll. You just see the difference in the tires. Mike Hamlin got around Chris Carroll, and Ty Morosco just followed right behind him. However, Chris could know this, and he could be trying to save that rubber as much as he can. Same with the second place runner right now, which is Brian Zimmerman in that number 21 Ford Mustang.
Yeah, Zimmy out there still has the fastest time of the race, which is incredible. And sitting in second spot, just doing what he needs to do to kind of put some laps down, which is great. Good job from him tonight. I really like watching Zimmy race between here and some other leagues that he's in. It's a lot of fun to watch him race and progress.
Dustin Peng runs third right now. Cody Gibson in fourth. If we're talking the bracket, Chris Carroll is beating Dalton Kilroy, and Cody Gibson is beating Taylor Butcher Benjamin as they run.
Well, that's the important thing right now, Sam, is as they run, because we know we haven't seen the last of any of this race.
And also, I want to remind everybody the halfway point, the completion of lap number 95. So once we take 96, whoever's the leader at that moment will be receiving the True Sim Productions halfway award. So that's actually going to be interesting, and who's going to get that with the way the strategies are playing out right now. Chris Carroll came down on lap 42. He's been out there for about 22, 23 laps. Whereas someone like Mark Arthur, who's back there in seventh, he's only been out there for about 10 laps on a fresh set of tires.
I don't have to give away my money, do I?
No, it's not your money. No, you ain't like Clint Boyer. Don't worry. You can keep your money, Chris. It's all good.
Sweet.
Now next season, if you want to throw your money in the pot, that's up to you. But me and Terry got it covered this season. It's all good. They're taking our money. They're taking TSP's money.
A little over 4 seconds of gap right now between Chris Carroll and Brian Zimmerman. About 4.5 seconds, honestly. After that, it tightens up a little bit, but Damn, this race is progressing on, and maybe not too many more cautions here tonight.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised. These guys are doing a really good job here tonight. We've had that one caution. You know, it's a classic case of just kind of getting too tight, bouncing off the wall. But ever since then, everybody's kind of, I don't even want to say they calmed down because they never really got fired up. But everybody's just kind of running their race. They're being methodical, working their way around each other really respectfully, it looks like. Seen a couple instances where, you know, a couple drivers are handing out some breaks, but it's short track racing. There's going to be that. However, the racing here tonight has been phenomenal. Lap 67 of 190. Still a long way to go. We're almost to that halfway point. Taking a look at teammates Taylor Butcher-Benjamin and Derek Paulson, currently running in the 9th and 10th spot. They got their teammate of Dalton Kilroy right behind them in 11th. Dalton looks like he has a little damage on the right-hand side of that car. Right behind him, you got Chris Berg in the number 66 running in 12th. Corey Sherman, 13th. Right behind him, Sam Lawson in 14th. And rounding out the top 15 is Brian Dees in the number 17. What, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is we're going to go on board here with our race leader, Chris Carroll. Go in car, kind of ride along here with a couple laps, listen and see what he's doing. So, pretty interesting right there, ladies and gentlemen. You kind of hear the number 99 shifting. And Chris said he was going to look to see if anybody else was. I think Chris might be one of the only ones shifting here this evening.
Well, from what I picked up, yeah, perhaps. But the other thing that I picked up is just how tight these cars are. Sam, I went on board with Brian Dees, and he is literally off the throttle until just about the straightaway before he can start to pick it up, and he picks it up very slowly. That just means, if you're not familiar with it, that just means that the car does not want to turn under any sort of acceleration at all. That makes your car go extremely slow, and you feel like you can just hit the gas pedal and go. It's a race car. That's what you should be able to do. Unfortunately, that is not the way this setup is working out for, I would guess, most of these drivers.
Yeah, it's pretty much the opposite of what you want it to do. You want to get on the gas and you want to feel the car to turn. But as Chris said, problems for these guys pushing tight. We even saw it earlier. I mean, we saw Corey Rutherford. He got just really tight, got into the outside wall, and that was the end of it. So you know what, Chris? That goes back to what I was saying about that two-tire strategy. It could work because that's going to loosen up your race car later in a run.
It absolutely will. You have worn left side tires, albeit they don't wear as quickly as the right sides. But those worn left side tires aren't going to want to grip as much. And yeah, Sam, you're right. The rear of the car is going to want to kind of kick out a little bit. It could be very viable here later on. This is going to get fun.
I tell you what, it would throw a wrench in probably a lot of people's strategies, and I think you got a couple of guys up front here who could try it only because they have to if this thing goes green, right? And that would be people like Chris Carroll, Brian Zimmerman, Dustin Payton, Cody Gibson. They are 10 laps kind of behind the ball on pit stops right now, so they got 10 lap worse tires than these other guys. I think if you take 2 tires in the last pit stop, kind of throw a wrench in it, you might have something here tonight.
The other side of that, Sam, is if you haven't practiced it, you have to be very careful because you're not entirely sure what that car is going to do. You kind of know that it's going to loosen up a little bit, but the last thing you want to do is come back out on track and spin it around.
So Chris Carroll has lapped up to 17th place right now. Right now, the last car on the lead lap is the number 28 of Mike Hamlin. He's trying to work his way around Brad Collins. And Chris Carroll is catching up to the back bumper. And I'm going to tell you right now, I know Collins and Hamlin, they won't move over. They're fighting for position. And, you know, they don't have to. So Chris has his work cut out for him right now to work around some of these lap cars.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we've talked about as a league a few times. I know Mark has said it a few times. Make drivers work for it. If you just move over, that's not really racing. That's not what you would see any Sunday when you turn on NASCAR or any form of racing. Nobody just pulls over.
Exactly, especially when you're racing for position.
Yeah, you gotta go, and if that means you hold up the leader, then so be it. Unless you see the blue flag come out, you stay there and you run your race.
Hey, I was told that blue flag just indicates that somebody faster is coming. Doesn't mean move over. What?
That's actually true. No, that is right.
I mean, but it could change from short track to short track. I do know that rules are kind of like pool with short tracks.
It's true.
You got house rules for short tracks, ladies and gentlemen. That's I've seen that firsthand. I know Chris probably has too.
Under the same promoter, I've seen different rules. So yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. And here we are. We're seeing a perfect example of it. Now, Mike Hamlin isn't on the back bumper of Collins anymore, but that position's still there. Not only that, you don't want to lose a lap here. You don't want to have to go a lap down, because if a caution were to come out and you're a lap down, well, now you're in a lucky dog spot and you're still at a disadvantage. So fighting the leader here isn't really all that bad. Now, if it was 2 laps to go, we'd be talking a little bit differently about it. But, you know, not even halfway, yeah, these guys are going to race their hearts out.
Yeah, the other side of that, too, is it is a single file, single lane track right now, single groove track, however you want to say it. If you come out of the groove, you don't know what's going to happen to you. You could launch yourself to the wall. You could cause an accident. And the last thing you want to do is be the guy that took the leader out.
So Chris Carroll, I think, might have plateaued just a little bit here with the number 28, because he seems to gain a little bit of ground to him. But remember, Mike Hamlin was one of those drivers who pit on lap 54, so he does have better tires than the number 99. And as you see it right there, Carroll gets a great run into the corner, but Hamlin seems to pull him coming off the corner.
Yeah, I'm watching the interval between first and second right now. It's pretty steady, 4.9 to 5. So, thinking Zimmerman's going to catch him, I don't know that that's going to happen. I think tires have all equaled out right now. Everybody's kind of driving, just putting laps down, waiting for the next time that they can come down and get some new tires.
I will say this, taking a look at timing and scoring right now, up to 4th place is the number 12 of Mark Arthur. Last time by, ran a 32.38, was 2/10 quicker than our race leader. And as I say that, Chris Carroll, Brian Zimmerman brings it down pit road. Green flag pit stops are happening.
Makes sense, Sam. Lap number 83. Dustin Ping now being scored as the race leader. Mark Arthur up to second. Cody Gibson in that 7 car up to third spot. Rick Thompson, Derek Paulson rounding out the top 5. All drivers still on track and putting down some more laps. So this, Sam, is the other thing about being behind on the pit strategy, as you called it. Chris Carroll, again, not making any time up really because he was on pit road while other people were driving. The only way that stops is with a caution. Deeper into a run, not just a normal caution, but you have to have a caution deep enough for people to come down pit road.
Absolutely. So Dustin Ping, Chris, he was one of them drivers also who pit on lap 43. Mark Arthur right there in second, and we should see this 81 be coming down pit road here shortly unless he saves some fuel. But Mark Arthur can go another 10 laps. Cody Gibson, he's coming down pit road right now. So there's a good shot of it, ladies and gentlemen. We kind of talked about it earlier, was the entry to pit road. It gets very narrow and then widens back out, and that was a good shot of how these drivers have to get on pit road with Cody Gibson coming down pit road right now. Same with John Perkins. So I would imagine Dustin Ping brings it down this time by, if not maybe one lap later, but I don't think he's got the feel for it. Mark Arthur just got around him though. Mark Arthur to the race lead.
You know, I haven't talked a lot about the TNA folks here tonight, and well, the reason is pretty simple. Right now, the best car on the track is the number 3 of Corey Sherman. He's currently riding in the 10th position. Overall, rather disappointing night, and I hate to say this out of turn, but in our chat, in TNA's chat, it was kind of predicted.
For who again?
Everybody to have a tough night.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, to be fair, I mean, not that many people are having that bad of a night. Let's talk about this 76 again. He's up 21 spots at the start of this race, running in second right now.
No.
Yeah, having a great race.
No. I just meant for TNA drivers.
Oh, wow.
In our chat, nobody was like, "Oh yeah, I can't wait for tonight."
Oh, come on! You're telling me Corey Sherman wasn't excited about tonight?
I don't think so. I mean, I could go back and read some, but yeah, no.
That's a shame. I thought Corey Sherman would be excited for tonight.
Concrete Corey does not
doesn't like flat short tracks.
Doesn't necessarily like flat short tracks.
I don't blame him. I don't like him either. I wouldn't be excited for this race personally. Not a flat racetrack kind of person. So the question is, when does Mark Arthur bring it down pit road? He's got Dustin Ping right behind him. Remember, Ping came down pit side. 4-tire stop for the number 81. What did Carroll do? That's the question. Carroll was also 4-tire stop and fuel for the number 99, sitting back there in 7th position. So he really didn't lose a whole lot of time there, Chris.
No, but this is where he needs to be really, really careful. If he overdrives at this point, then he's going to eat up those tires against drivers that are on slower tires. And you can fool yourself into thinking that you're so fast when you have those fresh tires and everybody else doesn't. So Chris Carroll right now has to do a good job about just kind of being patient, hitting his lines and not overdriving the car, or else he won't have the tires to compete later on.
Mark Arthur trying to work his way around some lap traffic right now. Dustin Ping trying to get around Mark Arthur to get his lap back. Mark not letting him have it easy, which is surprising only because Mark is on older tires. And like Chris said, these guys are on fresher tires. They should be able to blow right by him. However, they're probably playing the smart game right now. You don't want to burn them tires up right away, or else once you get later in the run after all these guys pit, you're going to be a sitting duck.
Yeah, for sure. And keep in mind, you go to the outside, not only are you beating your tires up more, but you're probably not going to get anything out of it because there's nothing to get out there. There is just no traction out there.
You can just tell how hard it is to pass, even with fresher tires, because it took Payne about 2 laps to get a run on Mark here, and Mark was not giving up that bottom. We've said it. It's a 1-lane racetrack here tonight, right around the bottom side of the racetrack. You don't want to give it up and lose time, and I'll tell you what, Mark did a good job keeping those guys behind him for a couple more laps.
Yeah, and Cody Gibson did a really good job of avoiding Mark Arthur. Boy, he was right on the back bumper as he turned a hard left to try and get underneath.
It's coming to take lap 94. We should be seeing all these other drivers come down pit road here in the next couple of laps, I imagine. But if Mark can stay out in the lead here for 2 more laps, he's going to be taking home that True Sim Productions halfway award.
Don't think that that's not on his mind as Andy Poliski behind him now, trying to get his lap back in the number 32. And then John Perkins right there as well. Oh, here comes our leader, Mark Arthur. Gives it up. He's coming down pit road.
So the question is, does Rick know? Rick Thompson, this is a good call, I think, by the number 76. Stays out on track, hasn't led a lap yet. Just led his first lap. That's 5 extra bonus points right there for the number 76.
Every single bonus point is so big. You know, we're about, well, I don't know, halfway through the season almost. But all those bonus points, they sure do add up. And with the current point structure of the league, every point does count.
And look at Thompson. He's staying out an extra lap, so going a couple laps longer than the 12. And yeah, as Chris mentioned it, ladies and gentlemen, while we do have a playoff format, it's not a win and you're in. You have to point your way into the top 16. And after that, it's still not even a win and you're in. You can't just win and make it to the next round. All these points are going to matter. You have a bad race. That's not good.
No.
It's basically the best way we can describe it, or that I've been describing it to people who ask, is it's the old school Winston Cup format with playoffs thrown into it. That's why I could describe it. However, it's like the chase. So once we do hit the first round of the playoffs, all the drivers in the playoffs reset. Each round resets, but you can't win in your way to the next playoff. You know what I'm talking about.
Most people do. Maybe.
I like to think I do. It made sense in my head, but you know how it is.
Brad Collins, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Aaron Bockover, Rick Thompson, all on pit road right now. Rick Thompson gonna find his way back out onto the track.
Well, that gives the race lead over to Derek Paulson, with Dalton Kilrow running second. And actually, I think Rick Thompson actually took home that TSP halfway award. I think he was out front there. Mark Arthur came down pit side, so give it to Rick Thompson. So the last 2 drivers to pit, or 3 I should say, is Derek Paulson, Dalton Kilrow, and Chris Berg. Those 3 have to come down pit road yet, but Chris Carroll's sitting there in 3rd position right now, trying to work his way around Dalton Kilrow. Could Kilrow maybe be just trying to cut out a stop completely? Because, I mean, these guys have gone quite a few more laps than I feel like they should.
If anybody can. Yeah, Dolan can.
Oh! Make contact with Joe Alberico there. It looks like Alberico was trying to come down pit road. Carroll was to the outside of Kilrow. Kilrow was trying to hang on to that 2nd spot. And it looked like he might have just made the slightest bit of contact with the number 83. Unless the 83 got loose here. I might got a replay on this one. Let's check it out. Yeah, Dalton definitely got a piece of the number 83 on that one. We'll take another look at it. Slow it down right here. It's just barely, but right there.
That was net code.
Well, we don't use that here.
Yeah, but what if it really was?
It wasn't. If it really was, it wasn't. So that means it looks like Derek Paulson still has to pit, Dalton Kilrow, Chris Berg. But other than that, pretty much pit stops have cycled through once Chris Carroll gets up to the race lead here. You see Derek Paulson bringing it down pit side now. So that hands the race lead back over to Chris Carroll. We're on lap 102 of 190. We're over halfway, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take another commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We'll go back to that in just a second, ladies and gentlemen. Caution flag on the speedway. And oh man, does this throw a wrench in everything. There are drivers who got caught a lap down. And I think Derek Paulson and Dalton Kilrow just barely got out in front of Chris Carroll to stay on the lead lap. I'm not sure even what happened. I'm going to have to go back and take a look. I think it might be problems here for the 73 of Casey Campbell. So Casey's coming off turn number 4. Yeah, gets loose. Just a self-spin out of the number 73. Had to stop. Got the barrels. Had to back it up right there. And yeah, that's what brought out the yellow flag. So caution number 2 coming out here on lap 110, I believe it is. Or 105, I'm sorry. Pit road is busy. Cody Gibson stays out. Zimmy comes in. Mark Arthur, Derek Paulson, all pretty much everybody. Well, Derek Paulson and Dalton Kilrow stay out because they just pit. So there's really no reason for them to come down unless they want to top off with fuel. Looks like Chris Carroll's going to win the race off pit road. Then Brian Zimmerman, Dustin Ping, Rick Thompson. Fuel only for those drivers. Looks like Zimmy might have taken tires there. Same with Chris Carroll. They just got back on the same strategy as the guys in front of them.
Minute.
I know, right? Yeah, as soon as I went and looked over to see how the MF commercial was doing to switch over to the next one, I saw we had a yellow and had to bring it back. So,
well, this is kind of what we were talking about, though, Sam. This is going to change the entire complexion of this race.
Well, it did because Carroll came down pit road and took 4 fresh tires on that caution. Same with Brian Zimmerman, but there are people like Rick Thompson and Mark Arthur, or actually Mark Arthur took 4 tires, but like Rick Thompson, John Perkins, TBB, they all took fuel only. Same with Dustin Ping. So Derek Paulson and Dalton Kilrow stayed out because, Chris, you stepped away for a second, but they just got out of pit road in front of Chris Carroll before that caution came out. So they lucked out there.
Yeah, it's probably saved them a race too because they would have been trapped a lap down.
Cody Gibson, last pit on lap 85, is elected to stay out on the racetrack. He's currently a race leader. So according to race control, that was the number 73. We kind of caught that one here on True Sim Productions on the replay. So 73 will be receiving the EOL for that one. But according to race control, he also managed to get a black flag on pit road. So self spins off of 4 and then problems continue for Casey Campbell. And that was actually a quick caution.
Yeah, they don't take long here. They just don't. Cars are filed in 2 by 2, ready to go back under green flag conditions here. And wow, that was tough on poor Casey there.
Cody Gibson, Derek Paulson, row 1. Dalton Kilroy, Brian Zimmerman, row 2. All of them with fairly fresh tires, except for that number 7. Coming out of turn number 4, pace car ducks on down the pit road into the restart zone in the hands of Cody Gibson, fires them off. We're back under green.
A really good start by Cody Gibson in the number 7 car, but lets it float up high. Here comes Dalton Kilroy. No, is that Dalton?
That is, yeah. That one's Dalton. Dark blue is Dalton, light blue's Ty, if that helps.
Yeah, a little bit.
Looking to the inside, going into turns 3 and 4. Almost a little bit of contact there as Cody goes up the racetrack. New race leader, number 41, Dalton Kilroy.
Now Cody's got to be smart here and fall back in. Oh, caution once again.
Once again, going to be under the yellow flag. Looks like problems for the number 43 of Larry Bell, possibly. A few other drivers might have been involved, and this is where it starts, Chris. Cautions breed cautions. Let's go back and take a look. Oh, they're 3 wide right there. That's a tough one. So it looks like Bell's kind of coming down the racetrack, and I think Rutherford's just trying to give Campbell some room, and they just make slight contact. Rutherford got turned there, but everybody else pretty much did an okay job getting through that, I'd say. Only a couple of cars getting a little bit of damage. See if I can't get another angle on that.
Aaron Bach over Rutherford, Casey Campbell.
Yeah, right there. It kind of looks like that Rutherford might have came up, so we'll just have to wait and see what race control says. As always, ladies and gentlemen, please put in chat. You're welcome. Who you think was at fault? We encourage it. Also would like to point out, if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't already, or if you have a Kick account, we are live over on kick.com as well. Just search up True Sim Productions. Give us a follow over there if you'd like. If not, stick around here, sub to the YouTube channel, and give us a like over here.
And you know, I actually watched a race on Kick last week. The quality was very, very good. I was impressed.
Yeah, for a new platform, they're really not doing bad. That's kind of why I decided to jump on it and put TSP on there, and hopefully we can bring some new fans here for not only the Blazing Pedals Xfinity series, but the other series we got going on here on True Sim Productions. So here's the thing, Chris. It's like I have the ability to interview one of these drivers here under caution. Now, I would love to do that, but it seems like that these cautions have been so quick, we just won't have the time.
Yeah, the only way to do that is kind of pull somebody as soon as the caution comes out. And the problem with that, of course, Sam, as a driver, you and I both know that, look, caution comes out. At first, you're thinking, what do I have to do on pit road? Then you have to concentrate on coming down pit road, hitting your box, doing all the right things. And that's just not something that you should do to a driver on top of everything else.
And then, of course, after we let them all come down pit road, they're actually lining up pretty quickly here. So I tell you what, if we manage to get another caution here very quickly, I'll bring somebody up. But for this one, we're going to let it slide. We got to figure out who we're going to talk to, though. I'm thinking this number 33 is John Perkins.
I want to talk to the 12, but we could talk to Perkins.
Oh yeah, we talk to Mark enough. We don't talk to John a whole lot. He's still up there inside the top 10. I don't think.
I mean, all I really want to do is say, hey, Mark. But, you know, other than that, we could talk to Perkins.
Well, you know, if it's any consolation, Mark does run with the broadcast up while he's racing. He does listen in, so I'm sure he can hear you.
That's true. Yeah. No, he does, doesn't he? Yeah, that's pretty good.
Lap 112 of 190. A lot of these drivers last pit on lap 110. Few drivers coming down to take fuel only under that caution. A couple of drivers took some tires. Taylor Butcher Benjamin being one of them. Or no, I'm sorry, fuel only. It was Aaron Bockover who took tires back there in 13th, number 44. Lights go off on the pace car. Teammates on the front row for this restart. Dalton Kilrow, Derek Paulson. Now, are they going to go green flag long enough for me to get a commercial in here? And I'll tell you what, I'll even be nice and go side by side for this next one. Well, we got to shout out them sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. They're what make this league possible. Especially SavageEdge.com. Make sure you go buy yourself a t-shirt.
Yeah, SavageEdge.com. They'll put your name on anything.
You can buy a truesimproductions t-shirt on SavageEdge.com. I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm wearing a t-shirt from SavageEdge.com right now. It says Maynard Motorsports on it.
There you go. Pace car down pit road. Dalton Kilrow, Derek Paulson into the restart zone. Green flag back out in the air.
So Kilrow has found his way to the front of the field. Sam, is there anybody that can beat him? I mean, honestly.
I don't know, but we're 3 wide back here coming off of turn number 2.
Look out, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my heart.
Rick Thompson putting it in the middle. Mark Arthur's going to back out of it before they get into 3 and 4. That's a good move by the number 76. He knows he's fast, and he's coming back up to the front in a hurry, right behind the number 81 of Dustin Ping. Running in 4th. Now Mark Arthur looks to the inside of Thompson going into 1 and 2.
Yeah, the battle right now for that 5th spot.
Well, the thing I want to point out too, Chris, is the bracket. I mean, it flip-flopped. Dalton now out to the race lead, beating Chris Carroll.
Well, I kind of have Dalton picked to move on, so you know that's good. I believe I also picked Cody Gibson, so gonna have to look in on that one as well.
Currently 4 spots ahead of Taylor Butcher Benjamin right now, running in the 12th position is Cody Gibson.
Yeah, and still don't count out TBB. I did not pick him because he's a bad driver. I simply thought that Cody was on a bit of a run, but TBB can win any race out there.
So it looks like we got a pretty solid restart here. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try it again, but this time we're going to go blazing pedals side by side. So stick around. We'll be right back.
SavageEdge.com.
SavageEdge.com.
Put the power of Southern Shores Realty to work for you. With over 30 professionals in sales and rental management, Southern Shores Realty and I will get the job done right. I'm Rick Thompson, your Outer Banks real estate expert.
Call 261-2000.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
What's up, everybody? We're taking a break in this exciting race to tell you a little bit about Savage Edge. You can go to our link here, www.savageedge.com, or our Facebook here. So we're about to tell you a little bit what Savage Edge does. Have you ever wanted to put your face on a t-shirt or maybe your iRacing car? Well, we can do that for you at Savage Edge. Take a look at our direct-to-garment printer. Did you just get excited about what you can see on a t-shirt? Well, we got more for you. What about embroidered hats? Everybody loves a good hat. Look at this. We also do beanies that double as kitten holders. There's also so much more we can do here at Savage Edge. Vinyl graphics, coffee mugs, koozies. We basically can put your name on anything. So go to savageedge.com and check out our Facebook. Now back to the race.
Back live here on True Sim Productions. Dalton Kiro still your race leader. Brian Zimmerman running second. Mark Arthur up to third.
Yeah, and right behind them, the gentleman who has led the most laps here tonight, Chris Carroll, running in that 4 spot. Top 4 cars have kind of separated themselves from 5th place, Derek Polson.
That they have. Lap 126 of 190. Laps are starting to wind down a little bit here. Everybody's gotten spread out, so I don't see us having a caution anytime soon, but I don't want to jinx it. A lot of these drivers last pit on lap 110. Remember, they can only do about 40 or so laps on fuel to make it to the end of the race. They're going to have to make it another 30 laps here, at least make it to lap 50, I'd say, to make it the rest of the way on 1 tank fuel.
Yeah, 150 is the kind of the number that you're looking for, and you know, we know one guy that can probably do it. He happens to be leading the race. That's probably not where he wants to be if he's trying to save fuel.
He about got taken out right there because it looked like Zimmerman was trying to make a move on Dalton while Mark was trying to make a move on Zimmerman. They all almost make contact with each other going into turn 1 right there.
Yeah, we'll put it out there. Mark Arthur, he must have heard because right now he does have the fastest lap of the race. He went ahead and beat Zimmerman by, get this, 2 1/1000ths of a second.
Hey, he's proving it out there too. I mean, look at our top 4. Throw a blanket over him right now. Dalton Kiro still holds on to the race lead. Brian Zimmerman all over that back bumper, trying to force a mistake out of that number 41. I tell you what, Zimmy might be a contender here tonight to win this race. He was back there in second. Yeah, Mark up out of the groove right there, losing that position to Carroll.
The previous lap, Carroll was right on the back bumper, and you got to think that maybe.
Zimmerman loose, gets into Dalton Kiro. Let's see if we can't get a replay on it. And he sends it down into the corner. Oh, he hits the inside wall.
I thought I heard that.
Yeah, I heard it too. Man, hits that inside wall. Trying to get a good angle on it here for everybody. This should be a good one right here. Goes down in the corner and right there hits the inside wall. You see the roof flaps come up and everything. He hit that wall a ton.
I don't know how he's still going forward.
He's definitely hurting. Yeah, here he comes. He's got to be coming down pit road. Either that or he just entered shallow, trying to give a groove to Derek Paulson right there. Or he's just trying to stay on the bottom. Let's see what he does here. Yeah, 21 bringing it down pit side. Almost getting to the inside wall right there.
Yeah, that car was definitely hurt coming off the wall like that. Oh, that was a vicious hit. And that, of course, brings Chris Carroll right to the back bumper of Dalton Kilrow.
I mean, it looked like Dalton gave him plenty of room. Maybe he just misjudged that. So Zimmerman on pit road with some heavy left front damage. And as Chris just mentioned, yeah, Chris Carroll all over the back bumper. Loose out of 4. Gonna lose all that momentum now. It's what Dalton wants to see.
Yeah, you miss your line one time and other drivers are going to make you pay. That's exactly what happened to Chris Carroll right there, as Dalton was able to put about 2 car lengths in between them once again. So Carroll has to fight back to try and get back to the rear bumper of Dalton Kilrow in the 41. Meanwhile, the 12 is trying to find the rear bumper of the 99, and somebody has already found the rear bumper of the 12.
Well, I'd like to point out, too, that it's going to take at least a lap or 2 for Chris Carroll to kind of get back in his rhythm. Once you light up them rear tires like that, they just get hot, and they have to cool back down for them to get the grip that you want. So, going to be struggling here for the next lap or so. As I say that, he is gaining ground on Dalton.
Yeah, back within a car length now, right to the back bumper, heading into the corner, is the number 99 of Chris Carroll, looking deep down into the inside in the 41, maybe going down a spot.
Side by side here across the line. No, Chris Carroll slides up in front of Kilrow, takes the lead away. No race leader, Chris Carroll.
Yeah, and Dalton kind of almost looked like he let that one happen. And remember, Sam, I already said it once, but I'm going to say it again. You cannot save fuel as the race leader. And maybe that's exactly what Dalton was looking for.
Well, if we compare when they last pit, Carroll does have about 5 laps advantage on Dalton right now. Same with Mark. Carroll has about a 2-lap advantage over Mark. I think Dalton might have burned his stuff up a little bit. He got a little tight there coming out of turn number 4 as you see Mark Arthur looking to the inside right here in turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, you were just saying what happens if you burn up the tires, and that's probably what has happened to the 41. Mark Arthur looking down on the inside, the 41 staying up high enough, but closes the door going into the corner. A dangerous thing to do right there.
That was, yeah, I think Mark kind of showed him the nose there. Definitely gave Dalton a big break. Let's see if he's going to get him here. Good run down the front stretch. Down into turns 1 and 2 are going to be side by side here. He's using that lap car of Fred Thompson as a pick. Smart move by Mark Arthur. Dalton going for the crossover.
Yeah, Dalton gave a little push there. And caution on the track. Caution on the track. Oh, boy.
What do we got going on here? Show me something wrong with the 55. Slow in turns, looks like 3 and 4. Or no, 1 and 2. Sorry. They look identical. Problems for the 55. Samuel Lawson and Paul Ellison.
And Paulson, yeah.
Oh, what in the world happened with that? Lawson goes down onto the rumble strips. He gets really tight, it looks like. Just comes up into the 55. And looks like maybe their rear tires kind of connected there. It made Paulson hop up in the air a little bit. Looked like Paul Ellison was just trying to stay out of the way there.
Yeah, I think Lawson did get those rumble strips and kicked that car very tight. Just did not want to turn after that. Ellison in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
Paul Ellison, Paulson, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
This sounds similar. Can't believe I called him Paulson. Oh, well. Yeah, that was really weird. I mean, although we know that can happen, right? I mean, you hit them rumble strips the wrong way. It happens on road courses all the time. It's going to upset that car, and I just don't think the 24 Lawson was expecting that.
Yeah, and looks like Garrett has put the hammer down on Lawson. End of the line for him as a cause caution.
Busy pit road. Everybody bringing it down pit side. Except for a couple of drivers here. Poliski stays out on the racetrack. He's got his teammate Joshua Rutherford in second right now is what I'm being shown on timing and scoring. So this is going to be interesting here, Chris, because everybody, of course, is going to come down and fill up that gas tank. However, we're not at that magic number yet. We're not at 150.
No, I was just looking at that 12 laps short, which means everybody would have to come down pit road one more time. You can save quite a bit of fuel. I don't think you can save 12 laps worth.
See a lot of other drivers coming down pit road here. See, I don't know if that was Dalton Kilroy who was in that mix as well. Maybe trying to get some damage fixed. Not seeing him on my list.
I got to shout out my teammate Corey Sherman, who has completely proven me wrong, up to 4th spot. Good job, Corey.
Chris Carroll is in 3rd. How about Joshua Rutherford, man? I'm 22 spots right now, sitting in 2nd.
Yeah, out of nowhere, the 64. I mean, literally out of nowhere. Awesome job from him, Andy Poliski, being scored as your race leader. Right behind them, though, the 99, and he has been stout here all evening long.
Let's see here, just doing a couple things on my end here, Chris. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm kind of looking at a couple of things myself, trying to figure out.
I'm also trying to crunch some numbers here. I mean, 40 to 45, they could do probably about 42, 43 if they really push it. And we're on lap 140. They're still going to be a few laps short, man. I mean,
yeah, there's no doubt about it.
If you're going to do it, you're going to have to probably be where Mark Arthur's at right now, back here in 13th. You're going to have to do it from the very drop of the green flag.
You need to already be saving fuel.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like Andy Poliski, Joshua Rutherford are going to stay out on track. Last pit on lap 110 and 111. On the front row here, coming down to the restart zone. Going to fire them off.
Pace car takes that hard left-hand turn.
Yeah, let's get the green flag out of the way real quick. Green flag back down there. Sorry, I just read chat, Chris. This is actually really interesting. From Jamie Walker, big shout out to all the drivers and welcome to this world. Baby boy Preston Allen Walker, born at 5:13 p.m., 7 pounds, 14 ounces.
Oh my goodness, congratulations goes out. Wow, that is awesome. Congratulations.
Oh, what caution flag
already.
Ooh, big problems in the back here. Ty Morosco stopped in the middle of turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, big shakeup here. It looks like Cody Gibson was also involved. Gibson, of course, one of those drivers in the top 4.
Oh, John Perkins involved. Having such a good race. Oh, man, Cody Gibson goes down in the corner. Looks like he just wiggles. Gets up in the left rear of the 33. Looks like Mike Massengill came in. Must not have seen Ty Morosco. Got into Morosco, sent him around even more. Let's get another look at this. I mean, right there, just gets loose up the track. These camera angles are not great.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you see the lockup right there. That was actually a really, really good camera angle. Let me back it up. Right. Wow, I went by it. Here, let's try it again. Right there, you see the left front locking up on the 7 of Gibson. Trying to stay out of the 33. Got into him. Ty Morosco, nowhere to go. Well, I tell you what, Chris, that whole fuel strategy thing might be out the window here now. I think we're going to be good.
Yeah, some of the drivers in the back for sure. Some of the drivers up front, maybe. Guys in the back, what do you got to lose? You come down and you get some fuel. If you have another set of tires, now is the time to use them up.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of drivers who came down pit road was fuel only. Chris Berg, Mike Hamlin, Derek Paulson, Rick Thompson, Aaron Bockover. Andy Poliski did come down pit road, get tires. He's back there in 12th. You see Mark Arthur and a bunch of other guys coming down pit road here. Probably just top off, Chris. Just trying to make sure they can make it.
Yeah, I think that might be the right call. I'm still not convinced, even with this caution, unless we had another, I'm not convinced that the leaders can go the distance.
Well, we're under 50 laps to go, and you know the old saying, cautions breed cautions. This is our 4th of the evening.
Which is great, by the way. That's incredible.
Awesome. Absolutely. Compared to the Xfinity race in Nashville on Saturday, yeah, this is awesome. I don't know if anybody watched that race, but it's pretty caution-filled. What was the call for on Track Talk? Do you remember? What were they asking the over-under was?
I believe it was a large number, like 11.
Oh, yeah, definitely under.
Yeah.
I would have guessed under, honestly, with this series. These guys normally do a really good job. Milwaukee being a tough track, but you got some of the best out here, in my opinion. This is really good group of people, really good group of drivers. I say drivers because, of course, can never forget about Amanda Sherman. Let's give her some camera time. She loves getting camera time. Amanda Sherman back there in 18th. Looks like she's a couple of laps down, but still hanging on out there.
Yeah, Amanda is a fierce competitor. I love being on her team.
She's come a long way. That's definitely for sure. Starting to get a little bit more comfortable around these other drivers. Looks like we might have to extend this. It looks like there might be some scoring issues mid-pack there. Drivers trying to get their positions back. We'll see what happens here. See if Garrett wants to extend it one more.
He's going to have to decide soon, Sam, because the pace car is making a left-hand turn. Oh, boy.
A green flag back out in the air. I mean, they were pretty much lined up. They got it. Chris Carroll, really good jump there. Back down into turns 1 and 2. Corey Sherman moving up in his 2nd spot.
Yeah, Sherman, though, pushing to the outside. You can see it on the exit of the corner. Corey Sherman's car has a wicked push to it. We'll see how long he stays in that 2nd spot.
Last pit on lap 137, Chris.
Yeah, it's already done. Yeah, Sam, he's already lost it. I'm thinking he may have another set of tires on pit road.
Probably trying to save him for the end here. It's a smart move, but how about this? Up to 3rd, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, number 10.
Yeah, TBB out there doing a great job.
I'll tell you what, though, Chris Carroll out to a 1.3 second gap already. We got 44 laps to go. A lot of drivers came down and pit there under that last caution. Will they be able to make it the rest of the way is the biggest question here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We know Carroll, even with that other caution, he last pit on lap 137. Gonna be very, very close for the 99, and especially being out in the lead, like Chris mentioned, you really can't save fuel out there.
I'm gonna throw one more wrench into this one, Sam. If he is still shifting, he's keeping those RPMs higher. And if he's doing that, he's using more fuel.
Well, how about this? Last time by, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, fastest lap of the race, 30.89.
TBB is on a mission. He is trying to win here tonight.
Right now, Taylor Butcher Benjamin does have a 0x. So that's also 10 bonus points. You finish on the lead lap with 0 incident points, get yourself 10 extra bonus points. And I tell you what, one driver in this series who's good at doing that, no matter where he finishes, it's Taylor Butcher Benjamin.
Yeah. Yeah, he really is.
Very clean driver. I mean, credit where it's due, right? He is someone who takes pride in getting them 0x finishes.
Yeah, unfortunately did not have that happen at Bristol 2 weeks ago, but coming back strong here tonight. Lead lap, running 3rd, 0x. A good night for the Butcher. Now, I can't hear what they're saying, Sam, but there is a lot of talking going on out there tonight. Guys are being very good, guys and gal, being very good about communicating tonight, it looks like.
Let's go back, take a look. Corey Sherman We were talking about him. He was up there in second. Might have a set of tires laying in the pits. Not sure, but has fallen back to 9th where he started here, Chris. So got hung out to dry up on that top lane. Them older tires just hurting that number 3 car right now. He has Sam Lawson right behind him. Remember, Lawson got that EOL penalty. Now back up inside the top 10.
Yeah, great drive for Lawson so far. It's, as you said, right now, going to the inside, actually, of Corey Sherman right now. So Lawson moving up.
But he does have Andy Poliski right behind him. Now, Poliski's a driver I think can make it the rest of the way on fuel. Came down and topped off on lap 143. Going to be very, very close, but I think he might have it. Maybe not the win, but he's definitely in a good position to get a decent finish here tonight.
And ultimately, that's all you can ask for, right? Is to be in a position to take a win at the end of the race. If you can do that throughout the race and set yourself up proper, then you're going to have a good night.
Last time by, taking a look at timing and scoring, Dustin Peng was about a 10th off of Chris Carroll, but Peng has cut into that lead about 0.3 of a second. Only about 1 second off of the back bumper of that number 99 right now. So I'm getting word from race control. The 5 had to do a drive-through penalty down pit road. So Corey Rutherford with a drive-through penalty. And also, Chris, we got somebody in the Savage Edge infield care center.
Oh, boy.
So let's bring him up. It's Ty Morosco. Ty Morosco coming out of the Savage Edge Infield Care Center. Ty, what happened out there?
Well, I mean, my race was going just fine until that first pit stop. Apparently unsafe pit entry, but we got guys going 25 into the pits when the speed limit's 45 under green. I think that's a bit ridiculous. That's the whole reason, apparently, why I got an unsafe pit entry. Trying to go around the guy that was going 25. I think that's kind of BS, in my opinion, but then we had a good solid. We're trying to get back on the lead lap, and everything was going not our way. And then that last one, you know, we're one behind the lucky dog, and the guy who was in the lucky dog position decides to spin somebody out right in front of us. We slammed the brakes, and we spin out, and then guys just run into us when we're just stopped on the side of the track. So I don't know what to say. It's kind of pitiful racing out there, I think, for some of the guys, and they just pretty upset about it. Another DNF for us. We had a fast MFRD number 1 Ford Mustang, but it's just ridiculous what some of these guys are doing out there, and it's bad.
Well, I tell you what, man, you just kind of answered my next question. It was how bad was the damage to the race car? We know you had a little bit of damage earlier on in the race. That number 1 did look fast. Unfortunate for you. You think you're going to be able to get back out there?
I don't know if it's even, I really don't even think it's going to matter. We're going to be so many laps down, not going to gain or lose any positions here. But it broke the suspension on the rear end, and it's just upsetting because, you know, we had a fast car, and then, you know, guys being, I just, that first pit stop, I can't believe he was going 25 into the pits before he even got to the cone, so I don't even know. Speed limit's 45.
Well,
Ty, I got a couple of questions for you.
There you go.
Number 1, do you have any idea how, because I've seen it this season as well, the entries on the pit road very, very sloppy. Is there a way to fix that?
No, I mean, I think it's just, you never, under green, you never expect a guy to go 20 mile an hour below. I do think, I don't think my pit stop was really unsafe. I was inside the cone, so I don't know what I really did wrong. Obviously this pit road's a little different, and obviously this track's a little bit different than most tracks we go to. But I was inside the cone, but I still got a black, and so I had to wait 40 seconds. I don't know what the fix is, but I mean, maybe guys got to practice pit stops better. I mean, to go 20 mile an hour slower into the pits, that's just, especially how tight this pit road is, that threw me off, and I was just, you know, it's whatever. I mean, nothing I can do about it now, but I don't know how to fix it, but it's not good out there. It makes racing 10 times harder for everybody else.
Certainly. And question number 2 is, do you feel that the bracket challenge that we have going is helping or hindering the racing on track?
I think it's helping. I mean, obviously, I know from one of my teammates out there, he you know, he was putting in extra practice out there this week and trying to beat one guy. And so, I mean, it's helping the race product. I mean, everybody wants to win the bracket. Ultimately, I think everybody really does want just a good point day and then worry about the bracket second. But, yeah, I think that, you know, I think early on the bracket challenge was more, you know, had more juice to it than it did later on. Obviously, there's only 4 cars left, so obviously you're just fighting for the final 4. But I definitely think it is impacting the race a little bit. But obviously, these guys are probably looking season long as well.
All right.
Well, Ty, thanks for talking with us. Hopefully you can get that number 1 Ford Mustang back out on track, maybe gain a few positions. If not, I'll talk to you next week, buddy.
Yeah, sounds good.
This driver, the number 1, Ty Morosco, Chris, seems pretty upset.
Yeah, you can hear the disappointment in his voice, Sam, and you know, sometimes it's not your night, and sometimes it was your night, but other things happened. And the problem with racing is you just never know which is true. It could have very easily have been his night. He was fast. He was very, very fast. You said he was fast in practice. He was fast on track. Real shame that pit stop kind of took him out of it a little bit, and then, you know, everything else kind of compiled from there.
We got 28 laps to go here at the Milwaukee Mile. Chris Carroll out to a 5-second gap. I don't know, Chris. I think he's kind of testing his luck right now on this whole fuel situation. There's no way he can make it.
Yeah, I don't see it happening, Sam. I'm literally watching him on board. I have been since we brought the 1 car up into the booth, and he is not shifting, so he's saving a little fuel there, but he's also running into the red on the RPM gauge every single time he's on the end of the straightaway. So Chris Carroll not saving fuel. Maybe he thinks he can make it. Who knows? We're going to find out together.
Either that, or maybe he saw that we had a couple of quick cautions, thought we were maybe going to get another one there where he'd be able to come down and take that last set of tires. I don't know, and get some fuel. But looks like the caution didn't fall the way it wanted, is my guess, with the number 99. Because right now, out to almost a 6-second gap over Taylor Butcher Benjamin. And the Butcher last pit also on 137. So I don't know if Taylor can even make it. The first person
Taylor
Taylor
right now is losing a lot of time on track. I'm thinking he's probably saving some fuel, but it's hard to tell because, you know, Carroll's a pretty fast driver. So Carroll could just be that much quicker, or DBB is saving fuel.
On board with the number 10 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Let's see what he does going into turns 3 and 4. No fuel saving mode.
Okay.
So I don't know what their plan is right now, Chris. I think it genuinely was hoping for another quick caution. I really do.
And that's not to say it won't happen. I mean, we still have several laps in which it can. Just because these guys are spaced out doesn't mean a thing. With how tight this track is, with how tight the cars are, all it takes is one misstep.
And we saw that earlier with the 73 of Casey Campbell. I just came off of turn number 4 and looped it down, got the inside barrels, and brought the yellow out. So if guys are going to have to come down pit road here, yeah, I mean, anything can happen. 23 laps to go. Chris Carroll out to a 6.1 second gap over Taylor Butcher Benjamin. The first driver who's in third right now that I think could possibly make it on fuel is this number 12 of Mark Arthur. We're going to go on board with Mark, listen and see what he does. See if maybe he's saving some fuel. Mark's saving fuel.
Yeah, and Mark's pretty good at that. I mean, he's a pretty good and intelligent racer anyway. And yeah, boy, is he saving fuel. Wow.
He was literally on the clutch till the middle of the corner before he fired it back up and got rolling again.
And did you see how quickly he got back off the throttle? Wow.
He's going only about halfway down the straightaway. Yeah, about halfway down the backstretch. He's on the clutch, letting out of it. Saving that fuel. So that that tells you right there, Chris, that he's close, and he pit on lap 143. So if Mark's close, you know that Chris Carroll and Taylor Butcher Benjamin, they're going to have to come down pit road. There's no question about it.
Yeah, not only is he saving fuel, but he's hitting the clutch at about 7,500 RPM. So he, wow, that is a ton of fuel savings. Now, we don't know how long he's been doing it and if it's going to be enough. That's the real question.
With 20 laps to go, the other question is, when does Chris Carroll bring it down pit side? He's got a decent gap. And now I'm starting to think his whole mindset was, all right, I'm going to have to make a pit stop. I'm going to try and get the biggest lead I can with the tires I have, because he is on fresh tires. So that's what he's doing. He's going to come down pit road, maybe fuel only stop out of the 99, maybe a 2-tire stop out of the 99. We're going to have to find out.
And I just wanted to check in on one other driver, and I'm sitting in his cockpit along with him right now. It's the 41 of Dalton Kilroe. Just to see how he's saving fuel, and he is. He's not being quite as aggressive as Mark, though. He's simply letting off a little early, letting it coast through the corner a little bit longer, and then picking the throttle back up. However, he is driving very, very smooth, and that is a secret to saving that fuel.
Right now, currently being scored in the 6th position, right behind Dustin Ping. Has his teammate Derek Paulson right behind him in 7th. Laps to go. I don't know, man. What's your guess, Chris? When do you think old Carroll comes down pit road?
You know, it's going to get to a certain time when you just go and hope you make it, right? And I think anything outside of about 7 to go, and he's not going to come down.
Let's say point of no return, right?
Yeah.
17 more times around Milwaukee Mile, 17 miles to go. We know that Chris Carroll and Taylor Butcher Benjamin are more than likely going to have to come down pit road. Mark Arthur is in fuel saving mode right now. He is about, I want to say, 12 seconds off of our race leader. So if Carroll were to come down pit road, he's at least got that 12-second gap to Mark Arthur, but I don't know how much that's going to help. It's all going to depend on what Carroll does when he hits pit road.
Well, it's going to be a splash and go. You don't have a choice, especially if it's under green. You're going to come in, you're going to take maybe a second and a half of fuel and get right back out on track. Now, the kicker is that 45 mile per hour speed on pit road. It doesn't take long when the guy's out there doing 90 miles an hour to catch you when you're doing 45.
So Chris Berg running in 4th. That was a driver we didn't go on board with. I want to go on board with Chris Berg. It doesn't sound like the 66 is saving any fuel here. It sounds like he's just going for it.
Chris Carroll now has some lap traffic in front of him.
And no fuel saving out of the 66.
Yeah, I don't know too many drivers are. I think we may have already hit that point of no return, Sam. I think you may just go because the alternative isn't any better.
You go and run out of fuel. 14 laps, 14 long miles. Last pit on 137. This is going to be crazy. We might have a completely different outcome of the top 3 here once this is all said and done. It might not even be Mark Arthur getting third or winning. Who knows? Because Chris Berg has already started going hard. So I think Chris Berg thinks he can go the rest of the way. He was another driver that pit on. It would be, because he's another driver that pit on lap 143 and fuel only for the number 66.
Yeah, and he is right on the back bumper of Mark Arthur, just 0.3 of a second behind. Although Arthur is starting to increase that gap a little bit.
I think Mark finally knows it's time to go. You can't fuel save all the way to the end.
No, he felt a little bit of pressure and decided it was time. And look at the 12 go. That's a byproduct of saving that fuel. The way he was driving it, he was saving tires, Sam.
We're going to be 3 wide here, 2 lap cars, and Rick Thompson on the bottom. Oh my God, that was tight.
Man.
Woo, who's that going all the way down to the bottom? I think that was Berg. He shot around that whole pack right there. Went all the way to the apron almost on the backstretch. Oh, man. It's getting dicey with guys having to pit.
Oh yeah, you can tell it's coming. Something's coming. It may not be good, but something is coming.
11 laps to go. Out of turn 4 for Chris Carroll. Working his way around John Perkins in the number 33. 10 more times around. 10 miles to go. Gap to Taylor Butcher Benjamin right now is 10.5 seconds.
And unbelievably, it is growing. Chris Carroll must think that either he can make it or he's just gonna get as big a gap as he can and try and salvage up the night. Here he is.
Here he comes, coming down pit road, Chris Carroll. 11.9 second lead over Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Does the Butcher follow him? No, Taylor stays out on track. Oh,
Chris Carroll just relinquished the lead. And oh my. Carroll now heading back out onto the track. But the damage is already done, being shown right now in the 6th spot, and drivers are coming right behind him.
Taylor Butcher Benjamin, 3.7 second gap over Mark Arthur. Oh, here he comes. Taylor Butcher Benjamin down pit road. TBB cannot make it.
Man, oh man, it is coming down to fuel strategy. This is one of the things that we thought it might come down to at the beginning of the race, and here it is coming to fruition.
6 laps to go. Mark Arthur, Chris Berg, nose to tail, 2/10 separate them right now. Both of them might be able to make it the distance.
Dalton Kilroe sits in that 3rd spot. Derek Paulson, and now Chris Carroll up to 5th spot.
But Carroll 8 seconds off of the race leader, so he'll still get a good finish today, but that race win is long gone from his hands as of right now, unless we get a yellow. 5 more times on the speedway.
Depending on how much fuel he got, if we got a yellow, he may not be appreciative of that either. So this is going to be a finish. Berg right on the back bumper of Mark Arthur. Arthur to the top side of the track. Here comes Berg. Not going to be able to get there this time. And look who is lurking just behind them. One.
Dalton Kilroe.
Oh, wait. Dalton Kilroe. Kilroe has passed Josh Rutherford 1, 2, 3 in a row.
What's going to happen here? Dalton is getting a run on him. Throw a blanket over our top 3. Coming out of turn number 4. 3 laps to go.
Oh, man. This is where it gets really good, isn't it, Sam?
It is. It's getting really good. I'm on the edge of my seat right now.
You're sitting?
Yeah. Yeah. It's too hot to be standing right now, man.
Mark Arthur leads the way onto the backstretch. Berg, Kilrow trying to figure out a way. Is there a chink in the armor? Kilrow looking to the outside. That's not going to do it.
I think he's trying to get a run on the 66 there.
Yeah, he might be. You might be right. He might be trying to diamond the corners just a little bit.
Popsicle sticks in the air. 2 laps to go. Dalton looking to the outside of the 66 once again. He's got to get around him this lap if he wants a shot at Mark Arthur.
Oh, he just can't do it on the outside, Sam. That's a really tough thing to do on this track with this setup.
Coming out of the pits, lap cars. They're going to hold up Mark Arthur.
Oh, no. Look at that. Arthur on the outside. Berg
contact.
Oh!
Out of turn 4, white flag in the air, sponsored by Priority Auto.
Wow. Wow, is that how this one's going to end?
Dalton is there.
Oh, no.
Lap car in the way, Chris. Down the back for the final time. Does Dalton use the bumper?
Not close enough, Sam, as they roll through turns 3 and 4. Mark Arthur on the front stretch.
He's gonna be side by side with the lap car, but oh, what in the world?
Wow.
Did Mark maybe run out at the line right there? I don't know. What a finish. We're speechless.
What a great race. On board with Mark Arthur and Sam, verified he is out of fuel.
Out of fuel, so that had to have been what it was, why he checked up like that.
Well, it just does not get any closer than that. Right at the line.
Oh, wow. How about this, Chris? Derek Paulson coming home with the top 3. Must have got around Berg there late.
Wow, didn't even see that. Good call on that, Sam.
Good job for Derek Paulson. Give us 1 second here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to pull these guys up and get them ready for their interviews. All right, ladies and gentlemen, believe Chris is catching up with our 3rd place finisher right now.
Derek Paulson, driver of the number 6. Where did you come from?
My mother.
Okay. And then after that,
that last caution, the way our fuel mileage is going, Dalton and I could easily make, well, not easily, but we figured we could make it. We had to save 2 extra laps from what we usually were running, so I was surprised I didn't save more than what I did, because I thought I was saving better than what I was, but I'll take a 3rd. Wasn't the fastest car, so top 5, was pretty happy with that.
yeah, how could you not be with a top 3 finish? 3rd spot for Derek Paulson. Derek, who do you have to thank on that number 6?
Well, I got to thank Mike Falk, Racing Designs. This paint that I got tonight was supposed to be my Michigan paint, and for some reason it did not load. So we're close enough to Michigan. So I got to thank him. I got to thank MFRD, Ty, Dalton, Taylor, Brian, Always a good time in the Discord. I gotta thank you guys up there in the booth. I gotta thank Savage Edge, of course. CJR Graphics. Oh goodness, I can't remember them. A Butt Kicker. And there's a couple I'm missing, but yeah, it takes a lot to put on a league, and I especially thank all of them who contribute to this because it's always a good time.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have Amanda give you a stern talking to for forgetting some of the sponsors, but that's okay. Congratulations, Derek, on that third place finish tonight. And man, what a run.
Yeah, thank you.
Derek Paulson, driver of the number 6, coming in in third spot tonight. And Sam, I believe you caught up with our second place finisher, the 41.
I did catch up with our second place finisher. That's Dalton Curo, driver the number 41. Tell you what, Dalton, came down to the wire right there. You managed to get your way around Chris Berg. We were talking about it up here in the booth, saying, you know, he's got to get around it this lap if he's got a chance at Mark. Talk me through those last couple laps.
Yeah, it was pretty close with the fuel. I'm sure you guys were already aware of it, but the captain hat was on tonight, and you know, I knew it'd be close, it'd be tight pretty much the entire time, and just with the way I was driving, I was probably half a lap to the good for the most part, and then got down to 5 to go, or whenever Carroll pit, and I was like, oh, here we go, now or never. And you know, I hate that I got into the back of the 66 there, but Mark was kind of defending, trying to hold everybody behind him while he was saving hard too. So you know, still feel bad for that, but just glad I was able to come home P2, get ahead of Carroll, and move on in the bracket. Go up against my teammate next week.
Yeah, that is the other thing we have to point out is that you did beat Chris Carroll for the bracket. So congratulations on that. Dalton, that was a great performance tonight. You were kind of up and down all night, but managed to bring it home in second place with a little bit of fuel strategy. Who do you got to thank on that number 41 tonight?
Obviously, got to thank MF Racing Designs, everybody else at MFRD, Savage Edge Apparel. Go to savageedge.com. They'll put your name on anything. Got to thank Milwaukee Music Productions, CGR Graphics, you guys for doing the broadcast for us. And I'm blanking right now. I can't. I was doing so much thinking about fuel at the end of that race.
Well, Chris, there's another one Amanda's got to give some crap to.
Yeah, that's number 2.
We'll see if Mark can redeem you guys. But hey, doesn't matter, Dalton. Good job on second place, man. We'll see you next week. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now, Chris, I believe you're catching up with our race winner.
Yeah, I have the honor and privilege to say, Mark, let's keep this short and sweet.
Hey, Chris.
Congratulations on the win.
Hey, Chris.
And what? No, man, I was watching you. You were saving fuel like a madman. And then, of course, right at the end, it was obvious you ran out. You pulled over to make sure that there was no incident. What a great run from you and that 12 car. It was solid performance tonight.
Yeah, Chris Berg had me pushing a little harder than I wanted to there. So I ran out of fuel actually coming. I sputtered in 3 and 4 and ran out coming out of 4. That's why I moved up, because I thought Don would have fuel. So I was going to move up to block and maybe he'd hit me and knock me up there. But I don't know. Ended up having just enough, I guess, to get past to get the win.
Well, plenty of fans out in chat. Very excited to see you win here tonight. Who do you have to thank on that 12 car?
Well, I always want to shout out to my mom and Lola that watches me race every week. I don't know how they do it. I mean, I guess they like racing and love their brother and son. And I'm going to go through the sponsors here. Priority Auto, TSP, Tripods in the Wild, Southern Shores Realty, Butt Kicker, Mullet Music Production, CJR Graphics, MF Racing Designs, and Savage Edge Graphics. To thank everybody and TSP.
Good job, Mark.
He just doesn't want to get any crap from Amanda later.
That's
what
right.
It is.
No crap from Amanda. Mark, congratulations. I'm going to have to never broadcast again if you're going to keep winning. That's pretty much how it's going to be.
I'm good with it.
Oh, all right, buddy. Well, congratulations once again. A solid run out of the 12 here tonight, Sam.
Absolutely. Congrats, Mark.
Shout out to Terry out there, too. I think I heard y'all said he was sick or something.
Yeah, without getting too into it, Terry wasn't doing too great right now. So he messaged me earlier, and kind of just said I was on my own, and Chris decided to come up and help us. So shout out to Chris for that.
Well, at least he wasn't on track to wreck me.
Yeah, I didn't want to get wrecked.
No, I was going to say no rebuttal, Chris.
It's already there.
Fair enough. All right, Mark, go ahead and get out of here. Go celebrate your win. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys.
That was the winner, Mark Arthur, in the number 12. Chris, final thoughts.
Final thoughts, a very exciting race. I think we hit the under on the cautions, which is awesome. This track is very, very tough. We saw it all night. It's a one groove racetrack. These guys did a fantastic job, and that's that.
I'm going to pretty much agree with you. That was a great race. Only 4 cautions here at the Milwaukee Mile. And not only that, it came down to a fuel strategy race, ladies and gentlemen. However, provided a really good finish for us. Mark Arthur taking home the win here tonight. Dalton Kilrow in second. Derek Paulson in third. Chris Berg fourth. Chris Carroll in fifth. The rest of your results are on your screen. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. And we'll be back tomorrow night for the Crooked Line Super Late Models. Hope to see you all there. Have a good one, and thanks for tuning in.